Hello again, and welcome to the Three Blind Mice Show with my buddies Don Nardecki and Jim. Sounds like Georgia Borgia. And tonight we have our special guest back. People have been asking for him, Riley Johnson. He's going to be back. We're going to go over some video. We're going to get his opinion on some of these things as much as he can, because we know Big Brother and Sister is always watching. And we'll go from there. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it. Let us know. Ask us questions. Maybe we can get them to Riley. So, guys, how's it going? Jim,
Been a long week.
Yeah, I know, Don.
But always good. Always good.
We've had a long ass week.
With Susie, I said, then I had my little scare, and guess the good Lord didn't want me up there yet.
Yeah. That's true. He wants you to be in referee purgatory for a little while longer.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think Brother Tony said, don't bring him up yet. Don't bring him up yet.
All right, guys. Hey, let's welcome on Riley Johnson. As he's always, everybody's wanted him back. Big time official down from the south here, and let's just bring him on. Hey, Riley, how you doing?
There he is. Yeah,
it's hard to believe I was with you guys, and now the season's a couple of weeks away, and the season's over. It goes by, quickly, faster every year, but glad to be a part of this great group.
Oh, we appreciate you having us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Being with us. Yeah, we'd actually appreciate you being with us. So how's your season going, Riley? I mean, is it going good?
Yeah, it's been a fast. It's kind of neat to welcome some new partners to the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
We've got two. Let me get my light back on here. We've got actually three new schools in the ACC. And the only one that I hadn't seen is SMU. So I had Cal earlier at Auburn, and I had Stanford at North Carolina State.
Nice.
But it's good to get those three new schools in our conference. It adds a little extra pizzazz, I guess, because we're an all-coast conference now. And but it's been a good year. It's hard to believe the year has gone by so fast. We've got about 3 weeks left in the season. I've got 2 more games, and then I hang it up for a year and start working out and getting ready for next year. So
there you go.
It's been a fun year.
You get ready for the run on the green, aren't you?
Yeah. My shirt. I've been working on that today. We've got our half marathon and 5K in Seneca. That's my full-time job. I'm the events coordinator for the city of Seneca, and I get to put on a lot of events that bring tourism into our city. So, yeah, we got a lot of things happening, and it's a good time of year. We're getting ready for Christmas here in Seneca, so we love Christmas lights. If you've ever been to
yeah, me too.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine a town this small putting on a Christmas display of lights. Sync the music like Seneca does. It's just absolutely phenomenal, and all the other stuff you have.
Yeah,
the train rides. And
Don, you're right.
Not for the little kids. It's just, and they make it snow down here.
We do
when it's 40 degrees.
Yeah. Oh, it's been 60 degrees. And we've had snow. We can make that happen.
Made that work at that temp, huh?
Yeah, we can work. We can make it happen. And Don, you're correct. It is amazing we do this. And here's the best part. It's absolutely free. It's free for the family, free for the kids. The train rides, everything's free. And how many cities, usually, you have to pay a certain fee to get the kids into the car and drive through. Here it's absolutely free. So it's something we're glad to be a part of.
Well, that's great that you're part of the community. I think we actually talked about that with our guests last time about how a lot of officials get into this thing for the wrong reason. They get into it for like a side gig as opposed to giving back to the community. And I know that's how we did it.
Yeah.
We did it for so long by giving back. And, for us, it was like an event for the kids and for the community. When we went into a basketball game or a football game, we made it fun for everybody.
Right.
So, and that I think is what's missing today.
Exactly. And you're 100% correct on that. I think if you get into it with being blessed more than you deserve and give back, it just like I'm working with referees now. I had a guy call me today who is a young 20-year-old, 30-year-old referee, and he's asking me to observe his film, and he's telling me where he's working. So I'm going to watch, and I'll give him some pointers. And it's when you're blessed to be able to do this gig that we love.
Yes, sir.
You're able to give back and just see the younger guys come up and prosper. It's just amazing. It's a great thing.
Yeah. Our last guest was that way. He said that he grew up under our tutelage and he learned a lot from us. And I said, yeah, you learned a whole lot of bad stuff, I suppose.
Well, no, I don't know about that. You guys are awesome, man. I know Don. I've known him for a long time, but you guys have a great crew here. It's a great.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So I guess leading into this thing, to kick it off, we're going to go over some film like we talked about earlier in the pre-show. Before we get into that, have you seen or had any kind of crazy plays this year?
Nothing that really jumps out at you. I mean, it's we've had a situation come up where the rules, there was as we say in our league, during the year, we make it adjustments to the rules.
Mm-hmm.
We had a loophole in the rule where you could, and I forget what game it was. It might have been Ohio State or whatever, but they put 12 men on the field to bring a foul that created a foul and a 10-second runoff.
Yeah.
And if you go back to that, well, now there's a new rule where we can put time back on the clock. That was one of those.
Mm-hmm.
When they write the rules, there's always a loophole in there. Well, it didn't include this or it didn't include that. Well,
right.
There was a coach that found a loophole, and I forget what game it was. I'll have to go back and research it, but you probably know it.
Yeah, it's Ohio State, Oregon.
It was Ohio State, Oregon.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
There you go. Right. They found a loophole where, look, for a simple 5-yard penalty, I can, create like 10, 15 seconds off the clock.
Sure.
And so now we can restore that time back to the clock.
Yeah.
So if that happens under 2 minutes and we have a illegal substitution, maybe playing with 12 players, we can actually go to the offended coach and say, hey, look, we're going to penalize 5-yard penalty. However, in addition to that, we can add time back to the clock.
Mm-hmm.
So that way it just makes it, it's fair. It's fair.
Sure. It's good game management.
Yeah. But hey, no offense to the head coach, whoever figured it out. That's great coaching. I mean,
if you can figure it out.
Yeah.
What the heck?
That's a loophole. And we fixed that mid-season. And that was one of the things that jumps out at me. Usually you don't have any rule adjustments during the year. Usually they do that in the beginning of the year, and they have the rules gurus that sit around the table and say, hey, let's do this, let's implement this. But during the mainstream, that was one that really jumps out at me. But other than that, knock on wood, I still have 2 games left. No crazy plays.
That's good.
That's made ESPN. So,
well, the ones we're looking at did make ESPN.
I'm sure.
The one is the Texas game. We're going to start off with that. Basically, we're just going to go over it. Well, let me just put it up here and we'll take a look at it. How about we do that?
Sure.
All right, we'll just go right to it. Let's go here. Let's go. And we're going to go, well, this is the Ohio State one, but let's go to the Texas guy.
They're showing the replay.
And here we go.
The top of the route, you tell me. There's contact both ways.
Oh, no, come on. Really?
All right, here's what I got.
The defender has a right to get in front of him. I don't see him holding him. I see the offensive player as much attacking him.
Yeah, it was possible OPI. They're both kind of going at each other. I just don't know how you make that call. But
all right, guys. Now we saw that play. Now we saw what happened. We saw what happened at the top of the route. I know Don and I have both been line judges and back judges. All right, and I know what I got on that.
What do you got on that? What do you got?
I got absolutely nothing. I got two guys at the top of the route. I mean, if you got anything, I got OPI, but I most likely I got nothing in a game like that. You know, it wasn't egregious enough. I mean, what do you think, Don?
It was equal contact both ways. Obviously, the receiver can't go down and knock a defender. He can't go down and run into a defender. That would be offensive pass interference. The defender can. It's tough to explain, but I usually explain it by the defender, as long as the potential receiver, doesn't get past him, can use what would normally be considered a legal offensive block. He can't grab him, but he can use his arms, etc. He can play on him. He can use his hands, can't grab him, but he can keep him in front of him. Now, that's what I used to think. And I used to think that the college rule is he could do it until the receiver got past the yard line the defender is on. A little more play than high school, but that's what I was thought. So here I've got nothing. I mean, they both bumped, and you get that all the time anymore in football. But
right now,
yeah,
Now we do have a special with Mr. All Ohio wide receiver here. Now he's a wide receiver, so I'm gonna bring him in.
Yeah.
Jimmy, what's your take, brother?
How much you bet? I want to bet he says New London in this answer.
Yeah. You know, I was trying to look for that book. I found the yearbook, and it's clear as hell, but down there in Rick's alma mater, they pay the refs twice. They run a collection.
All right. So what's your take as a wide receiver, Jimmy?
Hey, you got to work yourself. You don't get yourself that close to somebody. You got to make a move to get away from that defender. So you're wide up. You know where you're going. He don't. That's what my coaches always told me. You know where you're going. They don't. You make one good move. There's nobody around you. It's simple.
Now I feel like I'm on one of the Saturday or Sunday shows. Let's go to the guy that knows. Hey, Riley, what do you got on this?
Just hearing you guys talk, if you're gonna make a foul in that big a situation, what I always like to tell our guys, don't insert yourself. Let the stars be stars. And if you call something in that situation, make it where 9 drunk guys in a bar can see it. So if you've got 9 drunk guys can say that's a foul, there's 50-50 here. Keep yourself out of it and let the stars be stars and just,
right.
Let it be.
Well, I'll tell you what our head of officials told us. That was the first state meeting that he took over, Bruce Maurer. And he said, look, guys, I'm going to make it simple for you. If Helen Keller saw it in the 5th row, you better call it. Other than that, let's rock and roll. And you know what? I love that. I mean, I went by that. I mean, call the obvious,
9 drunk guys in a bar. I mean,
yeah, that's it, baby. It's the same analogy.
Exactly.
So, well, let's move on.
But then we're further on in that game. I think somebody threw a flag. They got together and they said no foul. Okay. But then there's more. Do we have the rest of it? Right?
Oh yeah, I got the rest.
Yeah.
No, it's
this is where it gets kind of bizarre.
This is nuts here.
It goes against Texas.
Let's go up to where all the nutsy pagan stuff happens.
The entire
the students are now raining bottles down. And this is unfortunate.
This is going to delay the game. That's the student section down there in the corner. They're not going to win the Taco Bell contest at this rate. No.
And I feel like I'm at the 10-cent beer night at the Cleveland Indians game.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on here? I'm like, I guess that's actually a good point, Don. Riley, what would you do in that situation? Obviously, you got to get everybody off the freaking field.
All right, I'll tell you.
And then what do you do?
I'll tell you a little kind of a hidden secret that can help this situation. You go to the home team, and were they playing in Texas? Were they in Texas there, Georgia?
I think
Yes,
it was Texas.
yes, they were. Yeah.
All right. You go to the home team. You go to the head coach. You take your microphone off your lapel, and you say, "Would you mind? First of all, I'm going to make an announcement. If there's any excessive celebration, any throwing any objects onto the field, there is a suspect unsportsmanlike conduct is going to be charged to your home team." Now, they're not going to like that.
Right.
To prevent that, I will go to the head coach of the home team. I will take my microphone off the lapel, and I will say, "Will you kindly ask your fans to stop throwing objects on the field?" And that way he gets to say, the head coach of the home team, asking his fans, please refrain from throwing objects on the field. We had that happen in a Cal game.
Mm-hmm.
And the coach took the mic off the lapel of the referee. He held it and said, please do not throw anymore. They stopped it. Once the head coach gets involved, it usually stops.
Yeah.
Now, as far as rules, you can penalize a 15-yard unsportsmanlike to the bench or to the home team. You don't want to do that. You just want to have their security. There's enough cheerleaders. There's dance teams. There's people around protecting the sidelines. They can go out there and get all the bottles off the field. It don't take that much time. But if the coach will take your microphone and simply ask the home fans, please refrain from throwing any bottles, or it will cost us 15-yard penalty. Usually that will work.
Right.
And that's the easiest thing.
That's very good. I mean, that's a good common sense one, because you're dealing with crowds many, many times bigger than what the high school official does. But still, if you go to that coach for help, he's staring down the barrel of something if it's game stopping and
whoever it is, Dabo Sweeney, Mac Brown, whoever it is, if he'll ask his home fans to please stop, usually they'll stop, and that's going to be more authoritative than me asking them to stop. Right. So I'll just walk to the head coach. Hey, I need you to help me out. I need you to make an announcement. Here's my mic. I'll turn my microphone on. I'll pull it off my lapel. I'll give it to him, and he'll hold it and he'll say, "Please refrain." And that usually takes care of it.
Well, that's cool. Well, we got here's the next one. Let's try this now. Obviously, this is Michigan and Minnesota. Now I'll set this up for you. Now they're trying for an onside kick. Obviously, a $137. Minnesota had just scored, and you can see the they're legally aligned, according to today's standard, and we're just going to roll this forward. Here we go.
Kick takes a bounce, and Minnesota recovers. The announcer almost loses his voice. Minnesota's got it! But then a flag. Minnesota is called for being offside.
All right, now hang on 1 second. Okay. Now, Don and I, we talk about this all the time. We've talked about a similar scenario. If you notice the line judges, top and bottom, notice their positioning. That's okay to have it split. But in a situation like this, where would your optimal position be, Don? you'd want to be downfield about another half yard.
Well, you know what? If we're thinking onside kick, and I don't know if Michigan showed they've got a lot of guys. I think everybody sensed it.
Well, yeah,
it's in high school we pull other officials. We put the two deep wings. We bring them up to the restraining line for the receivers, so we have more people in there. But this, when we talk about this one, I'll tell you one that was impossible to do that I was involved in. Only time I saw it in a college game this year is the first time I've ever seen it. But it's just a tough thing for everybody because as a back judge for a long time, I was behind the kicker, which put me in a different spot. But for things bouncing off people,
right.
Yeah, I could see that. But now an onside kick in Ohio, we got two guys on the free kick line and two guys on the restraining line, and then the referee hangs back behind, probably 10 yards behind, deepest guy back there, and it's all up to the two guys on the restraining line to know what happens, and then after that, it's the wildest play in football.
Well, I'll tell you what we always did, and Don, we've talked about it several times. We're always downfield another half yard.
Well,
so
yeah,
if they're
for normal kickoff,
right? If they're on my outside foot, if they're past my downside foot, they're offsides. It's obvious.
Yeah, for a general kickoff, I would do that.
Yeah, and even there, I'm going to be damn sure that he's offsides.
And there was a time when in Ohio they said, why do you want to stop it? This was to start the game. Everybody's all fired up. I mean, this is the culmination of a week of practice, blah, 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 a week of school, and everybody's there. And why would you want to stop the kickoff if somebody's 3/4 of a yard offside? Because then everybody goes, they start again. So in that case, a lot of those, and I usually did and kind of judged how bad was it. But for an onside kick, I stay right. You got to stay the line because if the guy is offside, the coach has got a legitimate complaint if they're trying to hit somebody there. So that's.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna know if he's beyond the middle of my body, he's offside.
Yeah. So this one was pretty close. I remember seeing that game.
It was
they
close,
called
but
it again, and it was there, but he was the only guy, and I remember where he kicked the ball straight at somebody, and it
was right down the field. I'll show it again.
That's what I thought. It went and bounced somebody,
right down here.
Yeah, it went bounced off somebody. We froze up. Oh no. Okay.
No.
Okay. No, I was waiting for you to get that.
That's
O'Reilly's in the funny house.
That's the guy they actually called
Halloween.
No, that's the guy they actually called offsides. Was that guy that you saw? He was a half a step behind the line. That's why I said, boy, oh boy. Okay, again, let's bring in the expert, Riley. What do we got here?
Well, in college, we're very fortunate to have 8 officials. We have 8 officials on every game, and if you look at it, we have 3 on the up, 3 on the bottom. We have an official behind the kicker to make sure there's at least 4 on each side of the ball, and then I'm down at the goal line. The way we treat onside kicks is a little different than we treat regular kicks. Onside kicks are zero tolerance. If you put a plane up, if they touch the plane, they're offside. And I had a guy tell me one time he thinks of a waterfall. A waterfall is coming straight down the kick restraining line. If there's any penetration in that waterfall, he's offside. So with this one, he's got to be perfect. Now, as far as replay, they can't get involved with being offsides or anything. Now, replay can get involved with if there's any illegal blocks or anything before the ball goes 10 yards or it's legally touched. They can get involved. Replay can do that. But here's my thing on that angle that you showed earlier. Rick, you can see I would need, for indisputable video evidence, I would need a down the line. The camera that you showed is what we call a high 50.
Okay.
The high 50s on the 50-yard line. It's not on the kicker's restraining line. So that guy, his only job is a plane. He's looking at a plane. There's no foot, nothing like that. It is a plane. If there's anything that touches that plane, just like the
He's
ball
off.
breaking the plane of the goal line, he's off.
Gotcha.
So, and it is zero tolerance. Regular
I see.
kickoffs, okay, a foot over, so be it, whatever. But in that situation, that's the way we go in to do that. And what I'll do is when we expect an onside kick, I'll send everybody up. You'll see everybody up. There's one on the restraining line, the kicker's receiving line. There's three, one behind the kicker, and I'm on the goal line. So, and then after we make a ruling on the field, we'll let replay look at it, because replay can come in and put an illegal block. So if the kicking team recovered the ball, it's got to be clean hands, as we call it. He's got to get it with clean hands. He's got to get it with no foul.
Right.
So, and replay can look at that. We'll slow it down. We'll give replay. That's one of there's only a few plays where replay can actually make a flag or call a foul. That's one of them. So with that, I mean, he's looking right down the line. I got to go with the ruling on the field, because there's no pylon camera. There's no 35-yard line camera or wherever they're kicking the ball off from. So,
hey, Jimmy, you got something to add in here real quick before we go to the next?
No,
He was too slow to be on the kickoff team. So he got good hands.
Kickoff team. No, you didn't have me. I was on the kickoff team.
That's what the coach
You
always
kicked
told
to
me.
me, the receiving team.
Coach
I
always
was
said,
the guy that used to run them back.
right.
The coach always said, you ain't got good hands, so we're putting you on defense.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This is how it works. I'm sorry.
Well,
Anyway, now that you mentioned replay,
let me throw this one at Riley, Rick.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this happened a college game. I think not this last week. I think the week before, and it was an offside kick. It was obvious what was going to happen, and the way they did it is the kicker went up and nudged the ball in a way that it hardly left the ground, and it didn't roll. You know how the ball sometimes goes wobbly, one end forward, and then when it spins around the next, it did that. It picked up that weird oblong spin, and it was going slowly after 5 yards. And so the kicking team, about 5 of the guys, are hovering over this ball as they move to the 10-yard restraining line, just waiting for it to cross, because it's already hit ground, and they're waiting for it to cross and then grab it. And then the other team comes up, and it's like they don't know what to do. And somebody blocked somebody. It was just crazy. The same thing I had in high school like that, but I had one other funny element, because I don't think the kids on the receiving team knew how to react to those guys around the ball.
Yeah.
So when the ball when it's about at the 9-yard rolling mark, one of the kids from the other team went down to the ground and reached forward for the ball, tipped it back, where the kicking team recovered it real quick. But it was so many people in the middle of the field, and it was so slow motion because of the way that ball was going. It might have stopped just before 10, but the kid not knowing what to do, he reached down for it, couldn't. He hit his fingers, and it went back where the kicking team got it. Never seen anything like it till this thing two weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
you just never know.
And it can happen. And I don't think the coaches spend enough time on special teams. Like we had a kickoff earlier in the year where the receiver touched the ball at the 10-yard line. And he just touched it. So he goes and the ball rolls in the end zone. He goes back into the end zone and he picks the ball up and runs out. He didn't know he could take a knee. He gets the ball on the 25-yard line. It's just those little simple things that they're not aware of. And if he goes back and picks the ball up, he's got to do something with it. He's either got to take a knee. Now he's thinking, crap, I've touched it in the field of play. I'm going back in the end zone to get it. I'm going to get a safety. Well, no, it's just a touch. It's not possessed. It's still a kick. Right. So, it's just it's if the special team coaches would just spend some time on some of these plays, it could go a long way.
I heard a comment on talk radio today that not a lot of collegiate teams have a special teams coach.
They don't.
And they were commenting on South Carolina's recent resurgence and how they've had some really good special teams play. And one of the guys says, well, the coach's dad was the master of special team play when he was coaching, and now he's up there helping his son. And
Well,
yeah,
Wins
Beamer,
games.
You're
coach under
talking.
Mike Gottfried, our
Yeah,
coach.
I was very fortunate to have his last game that he
Oh, my.
retired in, and Beamer Ball he's a specialist. He's a special team specialist.
Yeah.
He knows the game inside and out, and just a tremendous guy. I got to spend a little time with him, and just a super, super nice guy. And he knows the rules, and he takes time. And special teams is his baby. So very, very good for the game.
Yeah, it is. And again, knowing the rules. The same thing with my golf teams. I used to tell the kids, know the rules. You can use them to your advantage.
Sure.
As far as ball placement on a ball in the water, all those things. They just think in the water, put it right back. Well, lots of times before the water, you got real thick rough to keep balls from rolling in. And so why penalize yourself by hitting out of that? Bring it back where you got a good lie. Keep it on line to where it went in the pin. You can walk straight back as far as you want. But, the little things like that, knowing the rules, asking about them and finding out about them. And it's the same thing in football with that play. What can you do? I've seen kids in the old days, kickoff return team. I've seen kids, the ball's going towards the pylon at the goal line, and they don't know if they should get it or not, so they stand there.
Yeah.
And the opposing team comes down, just drops on it. It's their ball. And it was, why hasn't the coach explained to those receivers what happens if you don't pick it up? Just little things like that. Spend so much time on all the other stuff, but those big plays, those big game changers like that, they don't work with the kids. You don't have to have the whole team. Just keep with those guys.
Sure.
Anyway.
And now that you mentioned instant replay, and how it's been really scrutinized this year, and the play that we're about ready to see is one of our favorites to talk about on the show is targeting. And, and in this case, the targeting could have cost the game. It didn't, but it could have. And then it was subsequently removed by the NCAA, even when the refs called it instant replay, said it was, but then the NCAA said, no, it's not. So let's take a peek at this thing. And then I'm going to let you tell me what you think first. And then, we'll go from there. Let's
Hey, Rick. Okay.
Go ahead, buddy. What's up?
That lower right corner, you see that kind of weird looking box?
Sure.
At the bottom of the picture?
Oh, yeah.
If you can click on that thing, I think it'll make a bigger picture for us.
Sure.
Yeah, right on. Next one. Yeah, that's good.
All right, here we go now. Rock and roll.
They went to the NCAA football secretary rules editor. You got that? And after review, it was determined it was not targeting. Lucky for the Buckeyes, the call didn't change the course of the game. And now linebacker Arvell Reese won't have to miss any time. After the game, when Ryan Day was asked.
All right. So we won't listen to coach.
Yeah. It's a vicious hit.
But that's basically the play. Now,
yeah.
What you have is and I know what the referees are thinking because we've been there. You're thinking defenseless receiver. You're thinking, head and neck contact. But I don't know how to explain this, but if you played the game, I think you understand it in a different way. When you look at that play and you go, wait a minute, the receiver's got possession of the ball, the linebacker or whatever that is coming in. I mean, they're both lowering their heads. That's kind of a football play. So, in my mind, being a defensive end, To me, that was like, that's football, baby. To me, that's football. But, and I know when we first had targeting shown to us, it was very hard for Bruce to, really, cut it out and say, no, we want to have intent. We want to see the motion upward, and you launching yourself. He goes, that's what we're looking for. So, Don, I mean, I know you've had these. We've had them where we've called targeting and ejected a kid. Now, obviously, in high school, that's the next level, unlike college where it's just one level. But I know Don and I have had this conversation multiple times, on the field, on this show. So, I mean, what's your take on this, Don?
Well, like I said, it's a vicious looking hit. It's a good hard hit. And when I first saw it on TV, my thought was, oh boy, we're going to have a targeting call there. But as they showed more angles of this thing, his helmet went right beside, and he took this guy out on the shoulder. It was because he was standing and the guy had his lower body. So this guy came in and hit him through there. And it was the takedown of the hit, and the body going down was blurring. It was so fast. And so they looked at it, and more I looked at it, I thought, he might not have hit first with the helmet on that shoulder pad. He may have put the other pad into the kid's gut or into his upper chest or something. But I thought, man, oh man, this is going to be splitting hairs, yes or no. But
well, let me bring in our
and here we go.
We're going to talk to Jimmy here. Hey, Jimmy, you're a football guy. That was football, right? Come on, baby.
Yeah.
Come on, tape it up. Put some dirt on it.
Hey, right? I never got into them kind of situations. I kind of like streak down the field and throw me the ball.
You ran out of bounds. I see.
No.
I ain't getting hit. I'm running out of bounds.
He played in the day of head and the numbers.
Hey, he's
I could get a lot of guys that play at our age when their kids were on the field and that was outlawed. They got put your head in the numbers,
Well, grab the legs.
Did you wear like a tutu while you're out there too, Jimmy?
Yeah. I danced around them. Yeah.
All right. Hey, Riley. So now you saw the play. I'm sure you guys have seen this. And I'm sure you guys are just like we do. Our guy used to send us these. What did he call those, Don? He sent out a list every week on a Friday.
It was just a lot of bullet points on stuff that happens. And
I was like, wait, what? This is some crazy stuff.
What part of the state do they do this in?
I'm like, what kind of backwoods joint is this anyway? They got gators in the yard or what the? What do you think, Riley?
Well, it's Rick, you bring up a good point. Don and Jim, you guys, listen, the number one foul, I do a lot of speaking engagements, and the number one foul that nobody can agree on is targeting. Targeting is what's targeting. I'll give you a little insight. We do a replay convention in Dallas every year, and they'll show a play like this, and you have these little buzzers, right? So you can click on yes or no. There's never 100%.
Oh, sure.
There's never. So it's in the eyes of the beholder. So, looking at this play, the NCAA has a chance to go back and look at it frame by frame. They reinstate it. Kid don't have to sit out. But in the heat of the moment, when we see it, it's a big NASCAR hit, so we flag it.
Sure.
Flag it. When in doubt.
You understand that in the South, NASCAR
hit. The same thing.
It's a NASCAR wreck, and that's what I tell my guys. It's a NASCAR hit, and people love the hits. But we want to get the lowering of the helmet, the crown. We want to get that out of the game.
Oh yeah.
So when in doubt, if there's a question, flag it. Just flag it. That's the only foul we have now that has to have confirmed. That's in our league. That's the only
Well, that's everywhere. Yeah.
firm is targeting. Everything else stands. I know other leagues have confirmed for a catch or whatever. We don't do that. We have stands. Everything stands. It makes it easier.
Right.
Targeting is the only thing it confirmed. Now, when we have a targeting foul, it's just not the replay officials there in the stadium. We have our command center in Charlotte. We have some great replay guys. We have a great command center that looks at this. So, we want the protection of the kids and we want to get that hit out of the game. Okay.
Right.
When you're in front of 80,000 people, you got a 3-hour ball game. You got to make that split decision. You have that 1 minute window to look at it. Okay, you reviewed it. Here's what you see. Here's what you went with. Well, 2 days later, sitting in an office where you can sit there for 2 hours and break it down. Okay,
Sure.
maybe he didn't have this. We're going to reinstate him. I can see that. I understand that. But in the heat of the battle, I mean, you go with your gut. If it looks like targeting, smells like targeting, just put targeting on it, for the safety of the game. And that's what we're trying to achieve there. And everybody loves the hits. Everybody loves the NASCAR wrecks. And, they show up, they pay big money to watch the wrecks. They pay big money to watch the hits. But we just want to get that lowering of the helmet, the crown,
Right.
the 6-inch from the crown is what they put on last year. So I can see where they call targeting, and then the powers that be come in and say, well, no, it's not. So we're going to, take the foul off.
Right.
The kid can play next week. That's fine. But you know what? It gets people talking about the foul. That's the number one foul. When I do any speaking engagements, it's not pass interference. It's not holding. It's not offside. It's not kick catch interference. It's not illegal substitution, which nobody talks about. But it's always, can you tell me the definition of targeting? So, and it's like I had a coach one time tell me, they're teaching different tackling techniques. I got to be honest with you. When I was playing, I played high school, college, whatever. We tackled with our heads, and it takes a while to get that out of the system. But that's what we're getting to. So, I can see where they put the foul on, and then I can see where you've got like 2 or 3 hours to sit around and watch film. Okay, well, let's take it off. I can certainly see what they're doing. So
okay. Well, we definitely appreciate that insight. I know that, that's what people, honestly, when people ask us those kind of things, there's 2 fouls they always ask us about. I mean, other than football and basketball. It's targeting for football, and it's the block charge for basketball.
Yeah.
It's the odd travel, but 9 times out of 10, what is that? What, because it's like you say, it's a NASCAR crash. I mean, and it truly is. And it's both sports, and that's what people ask us 90% of the time. Well, what? And like, and in the heat of the moment, I understand that completely, because we talk about that all the time. It's better to put some laundry on it and talk about it than let it go. And then, stuff escalates,
Sure.
once you open Pandora's box, boy,
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you, Rick. 100%.
Yeah. What you see on TV usually has a pretty good angle. I mean, the bigger the game, the more cameras there, and the pro stadiums are set up with so many permanent cameras all around that'll focus on a yard line or something, but it's still a one-dimensional view. If you're watching it in the control center, if you're watching it at home, you got a one-dimensional view. And everybody likes 3D stuff because it's more realistic.
Sure.
Until you get 3D, which means, how many more cameras, you're going to get that one-dimensional look. And so you got to realize that the officials calling it are watching it in 4-dimension because they also hear it, but they're seeing it the way it needs to be seen. And as a high school official, we never get that opportunity.
No,
And I got pretty well booed on a couple of big games where I can remember the crowd booing me. One was at Cincinnati where the Bengals play, and it was a pass over the middle. So that was my back judge coverage. And the guy went down and picked it before it hit the ground. And everybody's booing and the coach is monkey shining. And I just kind of stand there, raise my hat just a little bit so I can look right straight up at the big scoreboard replay. Got it right, because it showed it from different angle. Same thing, a TV game that was at Massillon. Even the announcer said, "Oh boy, I don't know if that was incomplete or not." I came in with the hot dog sell. You step up with 2-3 steps, go to one knee, and pat your hands on the ground.
Oh yeah.
So that it hit the ground first. And those guys said, "Boy, I don't know. I think he caught it." Well, they showed it, showed the replay. We recorded it at home. And 10 seconds later, they're showing the replay, and he goes, "That was a great call by that official." It's just what you see real life, what you see TV or on screen. It can really be confusing. It's angles and. I saw a great example. I don't know if it was pro or college game. Play on the sideline. Deep wing. Did he get in? Did he have control of the ball? On his last touch inbounds, he was kind of juggling it. So they show a sideline view for a replay, and just as you see him catch it, the deep wing there, he gets a step over, and just straight lines the camera to the foot. And I said, "There you go. That's what happens to officials a lot. Just like that, in an instant, somebody steps through, steps away, runs in front." And a perfect view is blocked totally. That would have been a good one to show fans. Here's what happens at times when people don't see because of this happening here.
Sure.
Well, what Bruce always told us, always look at the feet first.
Yeah.
You got a minute to look at the ball. Look at the feet first. So, I mean, that's the first thing I look at on a receiver.
Yeah, this was
I'm
a real
looking to make
circus
sure
catch
his
by the
feet's where they're
kid,
supposed
but
to be, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I can see we're getting to the end of this here. You guys got any last questions? Or Riley, you got anything you want to close with today?
No, I will tell you this. If you see me keep rubbing my face, I'm not used to facial hair.
Doing that November thing?
Yeah. All the
Santa Claus
in the ACC, our great leader, Alberto Riveron, our ACC supervisor officials, who formerly NFL official, supervisor official. Anyway, we're donating, each crew is donating a part of their game fee from each game to the American Cancer Society. So we're going to be donating ours this week, and you'll see if you're watching. I don't really promote the game I'm working, but if you're watching the North Carolina game, you might see some guys with facial hair. But anyway, we're doing that in No Shade November, and you're probably seeing some of the NFL officials this year, and it's for the the cancer for us guys, to bring awareness to that. And I gotta be honest. I this is just a small from what those guys go through, and some of our fallen officials have battled cancer and lost the war, and it's kind of recognizing them. And I've got good friends that I've lost in officiating to the cancer. So this is kind of our No Shave November, and we just want to make aware of that. Let people know if these officials on Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, if you see some of the ACC guys, I don't think every league's doing it, but we're doing it just to bring notoriety to our men and the cancer research for all kind of cancers. So we're donating as a group, as the ACC FOA, our Officials Association, we're donating a portion of our game fee to the cancer research. So you'll see a lot of us. I can't grow a full beard. I've got the full Manchu going on. It's driving me crazy, but that's just a small token of what our guys are going through. But
for a good cause.
yeah, it's a brotherhood. Jimmy, Don, Ricky, you know this. We have never hung out. It's like when I met Don at Jazz on the Alley. It was an instant. It's kind of fraternity. I mean,
Yeah.
it's something that we all love. It's a passion. You can't describe it. Alberto River Run. I was talking to my supervisor, and he said, Riley, it's the rush. It's the rush of being out there and being a part of it. And that's what you're chasing. And I said, for 25 years in college officiating, I never knew what it was, but I knew it was something that I loved.
Right.
He said, it's the rush. It's just being a part. It's being a part of the game. And being able to give back is something you talked about earlier. So going forward through the rest of the month, you're going to see some shabby guys with beards and good full man shoes. And I hadn't got used to this. I've never had one, but I'm learning to deal with it. But it's all for a great cause. So you'll see the ACC referees, ACC officials throughout this week and all the way through November. And if you're looking at them like, well, wow, that guy didn't shave, you'll be able to amaze your friends at the next football game. Well, I talked to Riley. They're doing a no shave November for all the officials. So I think it's a great cause.
It is. It is.
It is a very good cause.
And we're happy. Our supervisor officials, Alberto River Run, gave us the opportunity to do that. So we're taking advantage of it. And just, cancer affects everybody, some shape, form, fashion. Whether your intimate family or your relatives, it's going to hit you. If it hadn't hit you, it will hit you. So we just want to bring some, some notoriety, just some some eyes on it to let you know that we're thinking about those people that's been through the fire, and we're with you, and our prayers are with you. So don't think we lost our razors. I'm still trying to figure this out. If I'm rubbing my and I've seen myself, I hadn't watched myself much on TV, but while I've been talking to you guys, I've been doing this all night long. Please stop.
I know it's very different. And with the glasses, it kind of accentuates it a little bit. I
need that highlighter pencil, for the eyebrows. You got to fill it in.
Yeah, I got a little gray there, so
all right, Riley.
Hey, maybe the fans, instead of throwing pop bottles, will throw big disposables at you.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
That happened to Jimmy once.
What?
Didn't they throw? Oh, that was pencils. Oh, that was pencils. I take that back.
Yeah. But
I think you got the point.
But thank you guys for letting me be a part of this. Don and I have been friends for years, and Jimmy and Ricky, I've seen you on TV here or Facebook or whatever the podcast is. You guys do an awesome job. I think it's it gives a little insight to the game because football fans are fans, and they love to. And that's one of the things that, officiating, whatever level, people are intrigued about it. Like, what's it like? What's it like? And you can't describe it, but, you guys bring a good eye-opening experience to everybody.
Well, thanks a lot, Riley. I appreciate that.
We appreciate that. And
we definitely appreciate you joining us. And we hope to have you back again. Actually, we had one of our fans from overseas asked for you. That was
nice.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I was like, when we bringing Riley back?
Yeah,
like,
maybe his team won.
That must be Tony. That's probably Anthony Mushet down in New Zealand.
So hang on now. We'll get you, brother. Don't worry. Hey,
Anthony. Anthony,
yeah. So,
there you go.
Thanks again, Riley. We appreciate it, and thanks for watching the show. And like Riley said,
have a great finish.
Friends or family, touched by cancer or anything, make sure you're saying your prayers, and if you can, donate or help somebody. There's always something you can do.
Right.
Yep.
All right.
Good thoughts, Stan.